You know that moment when something breaks inside you? Not your heart, that breaks all the time. I'm talking about the part of you that keeps trying. The part that keeps hoping things will get better. The part that keeps making excuses for someone who doesn't deserve them. That moment came for me on a random Tuesday afternoon. And it wasn't because my husband cheated or stole or did something dramatic. It was because he laughed when I cried. Laughed at my pain like it was a joke. Like I was a joke. But the joke was on him. Because 3 months later, when I handed him divorce papers, he wasn't laughing anymore. My name's Rachel. I'm 39 years old, and I wasted 15 years on a man who saw my emotions as entertainment. This is the story of how I finally found the strength to leave. Let me paint you a picture of my marriage. From the outside, we looked perfect. Nice house in the suburbs. Good jobs. I'm a graphic designer, he's in finance. No kids, which people always found weird, but it was our choice. We traveled, had friends, hosted dinner parties. But behind closed doors, my husband Greg was slowly destroying my self-esteem. One comment, one eye roll, one laugh at a time. It started small. So small I didn't even notice at first. I'd share something that excited me, a new project at work, an idea I had, and Greg would give me this look. This condescending, amused look like I was a child saying something cute, but stupid. "That's nice, babe," he'd say with a smirk. Not a genuine smile. A smirk that said, "I'm humoring you." Or I'd be stressed about something, a deadline, a conflict with a coworker, and instead of support, I'd get dismissal. "You're overreacting," he'd say. "It's not that serious. You're too sensitive. You're being dramatic." Every feeling I had was either wrong or exaggerated in Greg's world. And slowly, over the years, I started to believe him. Started to think maybe I was too sensitive. Maybe I was overreacting. Maybe my emotions were the problem. The day everything changed started normally enough. I'd had a rough day at work. Lost a big client, someone I'd been working with for 3 years. They decided to go with another design firm, and it hit me hard. Not just professionally, but personally. I'd put my heart into their campaigns. I came home feeling defeated, sad, like I'd failed. Greg was in the living room watching TV. I sat down next to him, fighting back tears. "Hey," I said quietly, "I need to talk." He didn't look away from the TV. "What's up?" "I lost the Morrison account today. They're going with another firm." "Okay." Still not looking at me. "Greg, I'm really upset about this. I worked with them for 3 years. This feels like a huge failure."
Like, subscribe, and comment below this video for the next story.
Finally, he looked at me, and I saw it, that smirk, that condescending amusement. "It's just a client, Rachel. You'll get another one. But I'm really sad about this one. Can you please just, I don't know, care?" And then he laughed. Actually laughed. Not a nervous laugh. Not an uncomfortable laugh. A genuine, amused laugh. "You're seriously crying over losing a client? Come on. That's ridiculous." I felt tears starting. "It's not ridiculous to me. This mattered." He laughed again. Harder this time. "Oh my God, you're actually crying. Rachel, you're being such a drama queen right now." Something in his tone, the mockery, the cruelty, broke something in me. "Why are you laughing at me? I came to you for support and you're laughing." "Because you're being absurd. It's a job. Get over it. I'm allowed to be sad about losing something I worked hard on. And I'm allowed to think you're overreacting." He was still smiling, still amused by my pain. "Honestly, babe, you cry about everything. Lost a client? Cry. Someone cuts you off in traffic? Cry. A sad commercial comes on? Cry. It's exhausting." I stood up. "I'm going upstairs." "Oh, here we go." Running away because I won't validate your drama. I turned to look at him, really look at him, and I saw clearly for the first time what I'd been denying for years. This man did not love me. This man did not respect me. This man saw my emotions as a burden and my pain as entertainment. I went upstairs to our bedroom, locked the door, and cried. But not about the client anymore. About the marriage. About the years I'd wasted with someone who thought my tears were funny. That night, after Greg fell asleep on the couch, I did something I should have done years ago. I Googled emotional abuse. The results made my stomach drop. Signs of emotional abuse: dismissing or mocking your feelings, making you feel like you're too sensitive, laughing at your pain, refusing to acknowledge that your emotions are valid, making you feel crazy for having normal reactions. Every single point described my marriage. I spent hours reading articles, Reddit threads, and support forums. Story after story of women describing what I'd been living. And they all said the same thing: it doesn't get better. It only gets worse. I looked at myself in the bathroom mirror. 39 years old. No kids tying me to this man. Good career. Financial independence. What was I waiting for? Permission? Validation? Him to change? None of those were coming. Right there, at 2 a.m. in my bathroom, I made a decision. I was done. Done excusing his behavior. Done hoping he'd suddenly develop empathy. Done accepting crumbs of basic human decency. I was leaving. But I wasn't just going to leave. I was going to do it strategically, quietly, so when the moment came, he'd never see it coming. The next morning, I acted completely normal. I made coffee, small talked with Greg, went to work like nothing had changed. But everything had changed. I decided to leave, and now I needed a plan. First, I called a divorce attorney, made an appointment for that week. Went during my lunch break. The lawyer, a woman named Patricia, was blunt. How long have you been married? 15 years. Any children? No. Assets. House in both our names. 2 cars. Joint savings and checking accounts. Both have retirement accounts. Who makes more? He does. Probably about 60-40 split. Patricia nodded. Okay, here's what you need to do before you file. She laid out a strategy. Document everything. Start keeping a journal of his behavior, dates, times, and what was said. Emotional abuse is harder to prove than physical, but documentation helps. Separate finances. Open my own bank account. Start moving money. Not all of it, just my fair share. Get my own credit card. Secure important documents. Birth certificate, social security card, passport, and financial records. Store them somewhere he can't access. Find a place to stay. When I was ready to leave, I needed somewhere to go. A friend's house, an apartment, anything. Don't tell him until I'm ready. The element of surprise was crucial. If he knew I was planning to leave, he'd try to manipulate me into staying. How long do you think this will take? I asked. That depends on you. It could be weeks. It could be months. But do not file until you're ready to actually leave. Once those papers are served, there's no taking it back. I'm ready. Then let's do this right. Over the next 3 months, I executed Patricia's plan perfectly. Opened a new bank account at a different bank. Started depositing my paychecks there. Told Greg I was going paperless so he wouldn't notice the missing deposits. Started working late a few nights a week. But I wasn't working. I was looking at apartments. Found a cute 1-bedroom about 20 minutes away. Put down a deposit. Signed a lease. Bought furniture and had it delivered there. Set up utilities. Created a whole separate life Greg knew nothing about. Meanwhile, at home, I played the perfect wife. Cooked dinner. Made small talk. Went through the motions. And every time Greg dismissed my feelings or laughed at my emotions, I wrote it down. Built my case. He had no idea what was coming. The hardest part wasn't the planning. It was pretending everything was normal while preparing to blow up my life. Greg noticed nothing. Absolutely nothing. He was so convinced I'd never leave that he didn't see the signs. When I started working late, he just complained about having to order takeout. When I stopped initiating affection, he didn't notice. Or didn't care. When I quietly moved my personal items, photos, books, sentimental objects, to my new apartment, he never asked where they went. I was becoming invisible in my own marriage, and he didn't even realize it. My best friend, Sarah, was the only person who knew what I was doing. She'd been telling me to leave Greg for years. I'm so proud of you, she said when I told her. I know this isn't easy. It's the easiest thing I've ever done, I admitted. That's how I know it's right. Leaving should be hard, but it feels like relief. When are you telling him? When the papers are ready. Patricia said another 2 weeks. She's finalizing everything. Where are you going to go? I already have an apartment, furnished, ready to move in. I've been secretly moving my stuff there for weeks. Rachel, you're a damn genius. Maybe. Or maybe I just finally had enough. 2 weeks later, Patricia called. Papers are ready. When do you want to serve him? This weekend. Saturday morning. When he's home and can't avoid it. Perfect. I'll have a process server deliver them at 10 a.m. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you for trusting me with this. You're doing the right thing. I hope so, because there was no going back now. Saturday morning, the day I'd been planning for 3 months. I woke up early. Greg was still sleeping. I quietly packed the last of my essentials, toiletries, clothes for the week, laptop, and important paperwork. Put it all in my car. Trunk, back seat. Everything I needed for the immediate future. Went back inside. Made coffee. Waited. At 9:55, I heard Greg moving around upstairs. Shower running. He came down at 10:03. Hair wet, wearing sweatpants. Morning, he mumbled, going straight for the coffee. The doorbell rang at 10:08. Who's that? Greg asked. I don't know. Want me to get it? Yeah, I'm not dressed. I opened the door. The process server, a middle-aged man in business casual, stood there with an envelope. Rachel Martinez? That's me. I need to serve divorce papers to Gregory Martinez. Is he here? He is. Greg. Someone's here for you. Greg walked to the door, confused. What's going on? The process server handed him the envelope. Mr. Martinez, you've been served. Greg stared at the envelope, then at me, then back at the envelope. What is this? Exactly what he said. Divorce papers. I'm filing for divorce. The process server left. Greg just stood there, envelope in hand, looking genuinely shocked. This is a joke, right? No joke. I'm leaving you. The papers explain everything. My lawyer's contact info is in there. I suggest you get your own lawyer. Rachel, what the hell? Where is this coming from? It's been coming for 15 years, Greg. You just weren't paying attention. We can talk about this. We're past talking. I'm done. You're not serious. I'm completely serious. I've already moved most of my stuff out. The apartment's in both our names, but I'm leaving. You can stay here or we can sell it. I don't care. My lawyer will handle everything. He was still staring at the papers like they were written in a foreign language. But why? Why? I laughed. Not a happy laugh. A bitter, disbelieving laugh. Because you've spent 15 years treating me like my emotions are a joke. Because you laugh when I cry. Because you dismiss everything I feel. Because I finally realized I deserve better than a man who thinks my pain is entertainment. I don't do that, yes you do. You did it last week when I was upset about work. You do it all the time. And I'm done pretending it's okay. This is insane. You're being crazy, and there it is. Calling me crazy for having feelings. This is exactly why I'm leaving. I grabbed my purse, headed for the door. Where are you going? My new apartment. Don't try to contact me except through my lawyer. Rachel, wait, but I didn't wait. I walked out the door, got in my car, and drove away. Didn't look back. Didn't cry. Didn't feel sad. I felt free. Greg tried everything. First he called. Dozens of times. I didn't answer. Sent every call to voicemail. Then he texted. Long paragraphs about how he didn't understand, how we could work on this, how I was overreacting. I blocked his number. He showed up at my apartment. I didn't answer the door. Called the police and filed a report. They told him to leave me alone. He tried to get mutual friends to talk to me. They all said the same thing. Greg, she seems serious. Maybe get a lawyer. He finally got a lawyer. And that's when reality hit him. Because I'd been strategic. I'd documented everything. I'd separated finances properly. I'd done everything by the book. His lawyer told him he couldn't contest the divorce. No fault state, and I wasn't asking for anything unreasonable. Fair division of assets. No alimony, we both had jobs. Clean break. Greg tried to fight it anyway. Claimed I'd been planning this behind his back, like that was illegal. His lawyer told him that planning a divorce isn't a crime. He tried to claim I'd stolen money. My lawyer showed receipts. Every penny I'd moved was from my own paychecks. He tried to delay the process, filed meaningless motions, requested continuances. anything to drag it out. But Patricia was better than his lawyer. Every delay tactic got shut down. Every attempt to complicate things got denied. 6 months after I served him, the divorce was finalized. I got my share of the house sale, my car, my retirement account, freedom. Greg got everything else, including a hard lesson about respecting your partner. That was 2 years ago. I'm 41 now, living in a bigger apartment, upgraded from the one bedroom, thriving in my career, dating casually but not seriously. And I'm happy. Like, genuinely happy. Not pretending everything's fine happy. Actually content with my life. People ask me if I regret the divorce. Hell no. I regret not doing it sooner. I ran into Greg about 6 months ago at a coffee shop. He looked rough, older, tired. Rachel, he said, "Can we talk?" About what? I wanted to apologize for everything. You were right. I was dismissive. I didn't respect your feelings. I took you for granted. Okay, apology noted. I've been in therapy, working on myself. I realize now what I lost. Good for you. I hope you're better for your next relationship. Is there any chance? No. There's not. I understand. And that was it. Closure without going back. Acknowledgement without reconciliation. The best revenge isn't making them regret losing you. It's building a life so good you forget they were ever in it. If you're reading this and you're in a relationship where your partner dismisses your feelings, mocks your pain, or makes you feel crazy for having normal emotions, listen to me. You're not too sensitive. You're not overreacting. You're not dramatic. You're in an emotionally abusive relationship, and you deserve better. I know leaving is scary. I know you're worried about being alone. I know you've invested years. But you know what's scarier than leaving? Staying. Waking up at 50, 60, or 70 years old and realizing you wasted your whole life on someone who never valued you. Make the plan. Execute it strategically. And when you're ready, walk away with your head held high. Greg laughed when I cried, but he didn't laugh when the divorce papers came. And I'll never forget the look on his face when he realized I was serious. That look was worth everything.
Like, subscribe, and comment below this video for the next story.